In the chilling depths of the night, where shadows dance and silence echoes, we embark on a journey into the eerie world of haunted houses. As we peel back the layers of history, we uncover the bone-chilling stories that have left these forsaken abodes forever bound to the realm of the supernatural. Brace yourself for the hair-raising tales that lie ahead, where the living and the dead converge in a dance of fear and fascination. Welcome to a realm where the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary, where haunted houses come to life with stories that defy explanation and send shivers down your spine. The Hollowed Manor. In a small forgotten town nestled deep within the forest, there was a house unlike any other. This house was old, dilapidated, and had an eerie reputation that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to whisper its name. They called it the Hollowed Manor, a place where the line between the living and the dead blurred and where nightmares were born. Legend had it that the Hollowed Manor was cursed, and anyone who entered its decaying doors was never seen again. But one fateful night, a young couple named Sarah and Mark decided to test their courage and uncover the truth behind the rumours. The moon hung low in the sky, casting long shadows that danced around the overgrown garden as Sarah and Mark approached the Hollowed Manor. The wind whispered through the gnarled branches, creating an eerie symphony of creaks and moans. Sarah clutched Mark's arm tightly, her heart pounding in her chest. "Are you sure about this, Mark?" she asked, her voice trembling. Mark nodded, his bravado masking his own fear. "We've heard the stories, but no one has ever really explored the place. We'll be the first." With trembling hands, they pushed open the creaking door and stepped into the darkness. The air was heavy with the scent of decay, and the floorboards groaned beneath their weight. As they ventured deeper into the mansion, they came across a room filled with dusty, forgotten toys. Broken dolls with hollow eyes stared at them from the shadows, sending a chill down their spines. "Creepy," Mark muttered under his breath. But it was what they found next that sent their hearts racing. In the corner of the room, sitting alone on a tattered rocking chair, was a child. The child looked no older than 5, with long matted hair that hung over their face. They were dressed in a tattered white gown, and their eyes glowed with an unnatural eerie light. Sarah gasped, and Mark took a step back. "Who are you?" he stammered. The child didn't respond. Instead, they began to rock back and forth in the chair, the floorboards creaking rhythmically beneath them. The air grew colder, and Sarah and Mark could see their own breath as they panted in fear. "We need to leave," Sarah whispered urgently. But as they turned to flee, they found the doorway blocked by an invisible force. Panic set in as they pounded on the walls, but there was no escape. The child in the rocking chair began to hum a haunting melody, and the room seemed to close in on them, the walls closing like the jaws of a sinister trap. Suddenly, the child's head snapped up, revealing their face. It was twisted and pale, with hollow, soulless eyes that bore into the very depths of their souls. With a bone-chilling, otherworldly scream, the child lunged at them, and a whirlwind of darkness engulfed Sarah and Mark. Days turned into weeks, and the town mourned the loss of the young couple. No one dared to enter the Hollowed Manor again, and it remained a place of whispered terror and haunting nightmares. The child, with their glowing eyes and eerie presence, had claimed 2 more souls to add to the list of those who never returned. And so, the legend of the Hollowed Manor persisted, a reminder to all who heard it that some mysteries should never be unraveled and some places should never be explored. For in the darkness, where the living and the dead converge, there are horrors beyond imagination, waiting to claim the unwary souls who dare to venture into the unknown. The house at the end of Willow Lane. The decrepit house at the end of Willow Lane had always been shrouded in mystery. Its crooked windows, peeling paint, and overgrown garden seemed to whisper tales of a dark past. Locals referred to it as the House of Shadows, and they told stories of a malevolent entity that lurked within its rotting walls. Most believed it was merely folklore, but those who dared to enter soon discovered the truth. One gloomy autumn evening, 3 curious friends, Sarah, Jake, and Emma, decided to put the rumours to the test. Armed with flashlights and a heavy sense of unease, they approached the foreboding structure. Dead leaves crunched beneath their feet as they crossed the threshold into the house's dimly lit foyer. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the smell of decay hung in the stale atmosphere. Cobwebs clung to the walls like spectral veils, and the creaking floorboards seemed to respond to their presence with eerie groans. The friends exchanged nervous glances but pressed on, fueled by their youthful curiosity. As they ventured deeper into the house, the temperature dropped noticeably. Sarah's flashlight flickered, casting erratic shadows that danced on the peeling wallpaper. The wall seemed to close in on them, and the oppressive feeling of being watched intensified with every step. Jake's voice trembled as he whispered, "Maybe we should go back." But it was too late. As they turned to leave, the front door slammed shut with a deafening crash, sealing them inside. Panic surged through their veins as they frantically struggled to open it, but no matter how hard they pushed and pulled, it remained firmly shut. They were trapped. The house seemed to feed on their fear, its malevolence growing stronger with every passing moment. The friends' flashlights dimmed, and strange, otherworldly sounds filled the air. Whispers echoed through the hallways, speaking words they couldn't quite decipher. The entity that dwelled within the house manifested itself in increasingly sinister ways. Emma's reflection in a cracked mirror showed a grotesque, distorted version of herself, while Jake's shadow took on a life of its own, moving independently from his actions. Sarah's flashlight beam revealed spectral figures that flickered in and out of existence. Hours turned into days, and days into weeks, but time seemed to lose all meaning within the House of Shadows. The friends' attempts to communicate with the outside world were futile, as their voices never carried beyond the cursed walls. They became gaunt and hollow-eyed, their sanity eroding as they wrestled with the relentless torment. One night, while huddled together in a room that seemed to shift and contort, they heard a mournful wailing that sent shivers down their spines. It was a voice, a lost soul trapped just like them. The voice beckoned them to follow, and in their desperation, they complied. The ghostly voice led them through a labyrinthine maze of ever-changing corridors. Each turn took them deeper into the heart of the house, and they soon lost all sense of direction. Sarah, Jake, and Emma were now prisoners of the malevolent entity, forever ensnared in its nightmarish grip. The House of Shadows had claimed another trio of souls, adding their tormented presence to its grim collection. They were neither dead nor alive, but trapped in a never-ending nightmare, where time stood still, and the horrors of the past and present intertwined. As for the townsfolk, they continued to whisper about the cursed house at the end of Willow Lane, warning others to stay far away. But the warnings fell on deaf ears, for the allure of the unknown and the lure of curiosity proved too strong. And so, the House of Shadows continued to claim its victims, one by one, a relentless hunger that would never be satisfied. The Little Girl in the Old Fort House. Sarah Montgomery had always been drawn to the macabre and mysterious. As an investigative journalist, she had a reputation for digging up the darkest secrets hidden beneath the surface of ordinary life. It was this insatiable curiosity that led her to Old Fort, North Carolina, and to the legend of the abandoned house in the woods. The story had come to her attention through an old newspaper article she had stumbled upon in the archives. It told of a family that had once lived in the house, the Harpers, who had mysteriously disappeared without a trace in the dead of night. The townsfolk spoke of strange happenings surrounding the house, from ghostly apparitions to unexplained noises that echoed through the forest. But it was the story of a little girl named Emily Harper that had captivated Sarah the most. Emily was said to be the youngest of the Harper children, a sweet and innocent child who had vanished along with her family. Her fate remained a mystery, a haunting enigma that had intrigued Sarah beyond measure. As Sarah delved deeper into the town's history, she uncovered the chilling details of Emily's disappearance. According to local law, Emily had a peculiar bond with the abandoned house. Often seen playing near its overgrown garden or sitting on its rickety porch swing, singing songs that chilled the bones of anyone who heard them. It was said that on the night of the Harper family's disappearance, a thunderstorm had raged through Old Fort. Lightning had struck the house, setting it ablaze, and in the chaos, the family had vanished, leaving behind only ashes and unanswered questions. Emily, the townsfolk claimed, was never found. With the legend of Emily Harper haunting her thoughts, Sarah had resolved to investigate the abandoned house and uncover the truth behind the girl's disappearance. She believed that if she could uncover the secrets of the house, she might find closure not only for herself but also for the restless spirit of Emily. The night was dark and heavy with foreboding as Sarah parked her car at the edge of the dense forest. Moonlight struggled to penetrate the thick canopy of trees, casting eerie shadows on her path to the decrepit house. It stood like a sentinel, its windows shattered, and its time-worn facade crumbling with age. Sarah, clutching her backpack, approached the house, her flashlight guiding her way. Every step seemed to echo through the night, amplifying the deafening silence that enveloped her. At the front door, she hesitated, her heart pounding. She pushed the creaking door open, revealing a world frozen in time. Dust and cobwebs adorned the ceilings, and the wooden floorboards groaned beneath her feet. The absence of power left her in near darkness. She activated the flashlight on her cell phone, casting a feeble bluish light that did little to dispel the oppressive atmosphere. Then her phone buzzed, startling her. An incoming call from an unknown number. She answered hesitantly. "Hello?" A distorted voice whispered from the other end. "Are you lost, Sarah?" Her neck hair stood on end. "Who is this?" The voice chuckled, chilling and echoing. "I'm just a child, Sarah. A lost child." Panic set in. "What do you want?" The voice drew closer, as if beside her. "I want to play, Sarah. Do you want to play with me?" Terrified, she stumbled backward. "This isn't funny. Who are you?" No response, only eerie laughter that hung in the air. Sarah dialed 911, pleading for help. "911, what's your emergency?" a voice crackled. "I'm in the abandoned house in Old Fort, and there's someone here," she gasped. "Please, send help." The voice on the other end turned cold. "I'm sorry, Sarah, they're not coming." Her call ended abruptly. She redialed 911, but her phone displayed no service. Panic surged. Then a faint giggle echoed through the house, followed by a whisper. "You can't escape, Sarah." She felt a presence behind her, a childlike figure emerging from the shadows. The ghostly child had hollow eyes and a chilling smile. "Who are you?" Sarah whimpered. "I'm the child who was left behind," the entity hissed. "Alone, forgotten, and angry." The room distorted as the child's voice grew louder and more menacing. Sarah desperately searched for an exit. As she stumbled through the darkened house, the entity continued to taunt her, playing a sinister game of hide-and-seek. Whispers and laughter echoed, and the child seemed to be everywhere, lurking in the shadows. Sarah finally reached the front door and burst outside, gasping for air. The child's voice followed her, a haunting echo that lingered. Tears streamed as she fled the forsaken house. The chilling laughter was a relentless reminder of the horrors she'd encountered. As she drove away, she couldn't shake the feeling that the entity, the lost child, would always be with her, lurking in the shadows, waiting to play its twisted game again. In her rearview mirror, she thought she saw the outline of the sinister child, standing at the edge of the forest. A malevolent grin etched on its ghostly face, watching her disappear into the night. Her phone buzzed once more, and trembling, she answered. The distorted voice whispered, "You will never escape me, Sarah." Thanks for watching. To support us, please like and subscribe.